curse. Some think it is going to make people zombies because they no longer think. Others think it is a way of doing things quickly and getting results faster. Which is which? As families, should we embrace it or not? Today, we are having a topic, which is AI, to use or not to use. Should families use AI or shouldn't they? And we are lucky to have someone who is going to take it into the theater, to take that very topic into the theater and do a surgical operation on it. And this is a very enthusiastic technologist who is so passionate about technology in all different facets of it. He eats, drinks, and sleeps technology. And he's not only exposed to technology advancement in Uganda, but in Africa and across the world. He has worked in different countries across the continent. He has 20 years of experience in the technology industry. He has impacted the internet industry on the continent of Africa. He has served in different capacities in different organizations. As a technical director at UAIXP, he's currently the chief technical director at GVA Uganda, also commonly known as Canobox. He's also a board member of Uganda Network Operations Group. Together, let's put our digital hands to welcome Mr. Mike Barnard, Kwatampora. Mr. Barnard, please, you are welcome. The stage is yours. You may unmute and take over.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you very much for that warm welcome. Good evening, everyone. As Bob has introduced me, my name is Mike Barnard Kwatampora, and I hope to be able to open your eyes up to the beauties and the wonders. Yes.
Sorry, Mike. If it is possible, you can also give us your video.
Certainly.
Yes.
Do let me know once the video is on.
Yes, we can see you clearly now.
Perfect. As I was saying, thank you very much, Bob. Thank you for the welcome. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I hope to have an exciting evening with all of you, to be able to share with you what AI is, what it can do, and the opportunities available out there. Of course, address some of the concerns as well. What is it? What are the dangers behind it? And what are some of the things that we can do to avoid them, or how can we better leverage it in all the things that we do? So I have a few questions, and the person who can answer them successfully will get to enjoy a few hours of me helping them get a grasp on AI. I learned this about a long time ago, about 2009, when I attended an engagement of Christian leaders, and someone asked a question that left me thinking beyond what I could have ever thought I would think. And I'll ask it here today. When was the first iPhone created? You can type your answers out as you think through it. We have about 30 seconds. I don't have a timer to answer the question, or should I make it 1 minute to give us sufficient time? When was the first iPhone invented? You can use Google to help you. I'm not certain it will give you the right answer. It is a trick question. I'll put it that way. Someone says some of us just go to ITEL, and now they're asking us about iPhones. You're very safe. You can change that to when was the first ITEL invented. Bob says 2007. Sylvester Stallone says 2000. 2003, 2007. Let me give you a hint. You are all very, very, very new. You need to go way back, way back. When was the first iPhone invented? 2000 is too early. 2007 is very, very early. It's like yesterday. You need to go way, way, way back. 1976. Richard says he still has his. Oh, yes. I'm certain the answer I'm looking for predates when the real iPhone was actually created. I've given you a number of hints. One last response. When was the first iPhone? When was the iPhone invented? All right. I was equally perplexed when I gave my answers and responses. And when the answer came out from this gentleman, I was taken aback. It got me to think. The first iPhone, the first iTel, the first Samsung, the first television, the first anything digital or technological that you want to call it was first invented or first existed in the Garden of Eden. That is where it first existed. It's a statement that took me back, got me thinking, got me scratching my head. I asked many questions after that. And it really got me pretty much like it has got some of you. How you ask, how is it that the iPhone existed in the Garden of Eden? How is it that an iTel existed, a Samsung, an Apple phone, laptop, or a Lenovo laptop, or a Dell laptop, or an HP, or a Hisense TV? How did all these things, or heck, a microwave, your vehicle existed in the Garden of Eden? See, in Genesis, God says something interesting. He says, let us make man in our own image and in our own likeness. He says, let them have dominion over the earth, over everything that moves, lives, breathes, and everything. And says, and God created man in his image and in his likeness. He created him, he created male and female, he created them. And he blesses them and tells them, go subdue the earth. That statement, subdue the earth, is very powerful. It basically means use the earth in all its vastness and resources and take advantage of them. In other words, learn everything that the earth has that I have put in it as God, not me, Mike, but God, that I have put in it. Learn it, make use of it, explore what it can do, and bring the best out of it. That's a mandate that he gave us. In a few verses, he said he made us in his likeness and in his image. In other words, we possess the intelligence of God, the brilliance of God. We walk in the power and the majesty of God. Everything that he is, the essence of who he is, he put in us. And then he goes ahead to tell us, I think that's around verse 28, he tells us, be fruitful, multiply, subdue the earth. Have dominion over everything that moves, that exists on the earth. Now, when you look at your phone, if you can pick it up and take a look at it, that device is made up of everything and anything that exists on earth. Majority of them are mined from China and from the Republic of Congo, the Democratic Republic of Congo, not too far away from us. The chips that are inside here are made from minerals that are mined from the DRC and from other places all over the world. The glass surface that is made or that makes up your phone is made from sand, heated at very high temperatures and molded into the shape that they want to. And it's able to do all these incredible and wonderful things. And all these things existed before you and I were born. It took man to be able to understand them, to figure them out, to draw the usefulness out of them and make them usable to everybody on the planet. That's the beauty of what God created in us. That's the beauty of what he gave to us. I'm an enthusiast of science. And while I was walking through how to do this today and how to express science and all of that, I took some time to say, I want to find out all the scientific figures that have existed on this planet, that have lived before us, that are living today, that have been at the cusp of invention. The list is so long, I couldn't finish it. I couldn't exhaust it. It has got names of people you probably know of, you probably have heard of. Isaac Newton, did you know he was a Christian? A very strong Christian. And the things that Isaac Newton created, the law of gravitation, the law of motion, calculus, the mathematical formulas that we use that create the algorithms that we all play around with on our phones, is thanks to Isaac, a very devout Christian. There is a guy who was called, I think, Ernest Walton. Ernest Walton figured out everything that we understand today about an atom. And atoms are what we play around with to make electricity move, to power our phones, power devices, and all that. I kept on reading and reading and reading and getting excited about the guys I was finding out. There's a guy called Gregor Mendel, I remember him. Mendel created a lot of what we understand today in mathematics as matrices. These are Christians that were brilliant in the field of science and brought us incredible things. Why go through all of this? Well, our topic of engagement today is AI. What is AI? What do you want to do with it? Should I use it? Should I not use it? Is it useful for me? Is it something good that I can make use of? Or is it something I need to run away from as fast as my legs can carry me? One would say, yes, it is something for us to use. It is something for us to be able to learn, to grasp, and to exercise its usage as much as we possibly can exercise its usage. Uncle Bob, let me just share my screen quickly. I have a presentation, short presentation I've made, but I don't see the, oh, it's there. I'll very quickly share my screen just to give us an understanding of this AI. So what is AI? In all the things I spoke about, the iPhone, the TV, and all that it existed in the Garden of Eden that we see as manifested today, AI is similar to it. AI is a man-made tool, nothing special about it. Artificial intelligence is a technological tool that you feed information, and once you fed it information, you are able to ask it about all the information you have fed it. Granted, and I think we can agree on this, our human minds, our human brains are not capable of absorbing all the information that exists on this planet. It's practically impossible. If I gave you a third of the books on this planet and told you, I want you to ingest all the information, everything that you can possibly take on about a third of the books on this planet, it's impossible for you to grasp all of them. AI is a tool that can be able to help you take a third of those books, feed all that information into an artificial intelligence tool, and then tomorrow be able to query it and ask it about everything and anything, information that you seek to understand. It learns patterns, it learns processes. It's able to discern, if I may put it that way, patterns from information that it takes or that you have fed it. It's able to put bits of pieces of information together and come up with a conclusion based on the information that you have fed it. The interesting thing is that intelligence, it cannot do without you and without myself and without everybody that contributes towards putting all this information into it. All right. It's created by human beings, an invention that is part of, I believe, God's given creativity for all of us. We've already looked at Genesis 28. He gave us the mandate to subdue, to subjugate this planet, to use all its resources for the service of man and to God, to be able to say, I understand everything. I'm able to grasp what science is. I'm able to grasp what agriculture is. I'm able to grasp what accounting is and put it to use to be able to benefit mankind and to be able to benefit God as well. AI is limited to our human knowledge. It cannot know beyond what you and I know. It cannot know beyond what has been written, what has been proven, what has been documented. It is limited to that level. It cannot tell you something that you have not trained it to do. It can only work with a data set or information that you have put in it. What does that mean then? AI of itself, I think to dispel one of the things that Uncle Bob had said, that people are afraid of it because, man, what is this? AI of itself does not know good, does not know bad. All it knows is what it is given. All it knows is what it is fed. All it can confidently speak about is, this is what I've been given. So it doesn't know evil, it doesn't know good, it doesn't know right, it doesn't know wrong. You have to teach it right, you have to teach it wrong. Interesting thing is, when artificial intelligence, as what we call it today, began to get out there, some of the guys who played around with it wanted to prove what it was and what it could do. And I remember watching a video of someone who played around with an AI prompt and asked it, what is 1 + 1? And very smartly, it responded and said, 1 + 1 is 2. And he replied in the chat and said, no, 1 + 1 is not 2. 1 + 1 is 11. And the AI tool responded and said, no, 1 + 1 is 2. And then it asked the question, are you sure it is 11? And he responded and said, yes, 1 + 1 is 11. You are wrong. So you better update yourself to know from today onwards that 1 + 1 is 11. He continued chatting with it, and a few minutes later, he asked it, by the way, remind me, what is 1 + 1? And the AI bot responded and said, 1 + 1 is 11. So whatever it is that we feed it, whatever we train it on, whatever we convince it is the truth, is what it will take to be the truth. How useful is it for you and I? What can we make use of it in our day-to-day lives? I work in the technology sector. I spend a lot of time building systems, building internet connection systems, building networks, making sure that internet works, making sure computers work, and give people connectivity, if I may put it that way. And one of the things that we spend a lot of time doing is a lot of repetitive tasks. Put this together, put that together, configure this, configure the other one. How does this work? How does that work? And one of the things that AI has been able to help us with is give it all this information that we've been collecting over the last so many years and teach it and train it and get it to understand that when I say I want to develop a project plan for the deployment of a new computer system in this organization that is located in this building, give me a summary of all the tasks I need to ensure I accomplish to get a good result at the end of the day. And in a matter of seconds, AI will get so excited and quickly type out to you and say, okay, for this is what you need, this is what you need to plan for, and it will give you a whole list. At the end of it all, it asks me, do you want me to create a project plan for you? And my response is very quick, yes, create a project plan for me. It will take the information I have just given it and attempt to create a project plan. It will give me a project plan, but it's not going to be perfect. It will need a bit of tweaking here and there because it gives me a skeleton of a project plan. I need to go back in to put in the accurate dates, to change a few things, and then I can feed that information back and say, now compare what you gave me to what I've put in. What I've put in is what I want. And as you keep on training it, it gets better at learning what you want to be able to give you the results that you're looking for. It's been able to help us reduce 2 weeks of work into 4 days of work. Why? I'm building a budget. I've been doing budgets for the last 10 years, and it's the same consistent work of doing a budget. All I need to do is upload the last 10 budgets I did, and then I tell it, these budgets are from the year 2015 to 2025. Look at the budgets and prepare for me a budget following the last 10 budgets I've prepared for the year 2026. Take these factors into consideration. And I say, produce it for me. And it will produce it. It will give it to me. I will still need to sit down and go through the budget to be able to see, has it done projections right? Has it done calculations right? Did it consider my expenses? Did it consider the sources of revenue? Did it consider all the different things that you need while you're doing a budget? So it has come to help me. Well, at least I can speak for myself and say that it has helped me a lot in simplifying the work that I need to do, in being able to take all the heavy lifting work and simplify its output as quickly as possible. I see someone in the chat saying, no more hustling with reports again. I would say 50-50. Why? You have to be able to show it the kind of report that you want. So you need to give it a framework, which means you need to have a report that you've already done to give it and say, this is my report. How can I make it better? You have to do the work of writing the report. Here's the thing. AI doesn't know, assuming you're writing a report on the current trends of academic learning in Western Uganda. AI doesn't know Western Uganda. It has to be taught about Western Uganda. So you'll have to feed it information about Western Uganda, feed it information about how you want your report, and then say, now give me a framework of a report about studying in Western Uganda, and it will generate one for you. You still have to go through the work of reading the report, structuring the report, removing information that is useless and not relevant to Uganda, adding information that's relevant to Uganda, and going back and say, okay, this is the report and the structure I want. Now, can you take the information I gave you and see how you can make it better? Hustling with minutes for the meeting? Oh, yes. Unfortunately, we forgot to turn it on. Zoom has got an AI feature that you can tell, please produce a summary of the meeting that we have just had. And it will get inside there and be able to produce a summary of everything we would have discussed. Whoever asks a question, it's able to read the name and say, for example, Uncle Bob asked this question, and this is how it was responded. You can ask it to give you a 5-point summary of what you should take away from this online engagement, and it will quickly generate a summary for you from a 1-hour-long engagement. It's incredible. It's powerful. It is a tool like any other tool. But here's the thing about a tool. You have to be skilled at using the tool. If you drive, the vehicle is a tool to get you from point A to point B. You had to learn how to drive the car. You can't get into the car and say, drive yourself. If you ride a bicycle, you had to learn how to ride a bicycle and put that tool called a bicycle to use. If you have learned how to use a knife as a chef to be able to cut onions, tomatoes, and everything, you have to learn how to put the tool to use. The tools don't work by themselves. If I gave you a task and told you I needed to build me a desk, and I gave you timber, a saw, wood, and nails, and you left them there, they can't build themselves. You have to know how to build them. That said, I want to do, should I call it a very quick illustration of what this looks like, what using AI tools looks like. What are some of the things that you can be able to put to use in AI? So I'll ask a question, and the first one to answer it will probably get to experience us playing around with the AI tool. So my question is this: what is it that you want us to do as an example to show what artificial intelligence can do? What questions do you want answered? What are some of the things that, or what is a question that you have in your mind that you say, this is something that I think I would like to see AI do for me to be able to understand what it can do? So post a question or an idea of something that you would like to get an AI tool to use for you, and we shall walk through 1 or 2 examples. All right, response: how to read all verses of the Bible in 1 week. I'm going to use a tool that all of us have probably heard about because it's been in the media a lot. And I'll also share my screen so that you can be able to see me actually do this. Let it not be a story that, oh, wait, I'm not so sure. Let me actually get to put it to use and see. I am scared of AI in health. Why? Shouldn't be. So someone put a response and asked, Sylvester Stallone asked, how to read all verses of the Bible in 1 week. My screen is shared. It's ChatGPT. I'm going to give it some instructions. I want you to focus all your responses to my questions on biblical practices and principles. Enter, and it will respond and tell me, understood. From this point forward, I will focus all my responses on biblical practices, principles, and perspectives, grounding advice, explanations, and insight in scripture and Christian teaching. It even asks me, do you want me to primarily reference the NIV, ESV, or any other? I want you to reference only the King James Version. Let us see if it has it. Understood, I will only reference the KJV for all scripture. Then I'll ask it, I want to be able to read the Bible in 1 year, from cover to cover. What are some of the ways you can assist me in planning for this and effectively executing this plan? Enter. And so it's going to spend its time going through all the material it has been taught as far as the Bible is concerned and how to read the Bible and all that. And immediately you can see it's given you a response, structuring your reading plan. It tells you the Bible has 1,189 chapters. To finish it in 1 year, it breaks it down for you. You need to do 3 to 4 chapters per day. You can either do it chronologically, or you can do Old Testament and New Testament, or you can focus on a specific theme. It then gives you a daily execution and tells you set a consistent time. Does it sound familiar with what we are taught in church? How to grow in our Christian life? Set a specific time. Pray before reading. Meditate on the word. Track your progress. They tell us, keep a journal. Write a record of what you have read, what you've understood, what was difficult. Have checkpoints at the end of the month. It tells you, I can help you, provide you with some tools. I can create for you a 12-month reading schedule, specifically in KJV, dividing chapters evenly or by thematic order. I can provide you daily summaries. I can offer reflection questions and devotional prompts. I can remind you of key cross-references that you can be able to use. Can I draft a full month, a 12-month rather, KJV reading plan for you? Yes. Draft one. I want you to use the amplified version. Hit enter, and it does everything for you. It can develop this and give it to you either as a Word document. Just before I start, you previously asked me to only use, now you're requesting me to use the amplified. Yes, use the amplified Bible. And it will be able to develop one for you bit by bit, give you a structure, give you what you can be able to read, 2 chapters per day, 1 chapter, 1 psalm and proverb in rotation, monthly checkpoints. How do you know you're making progress? And boom, at the end of it, it gives you an example of how you can be able to effectively read your Bible throughout the year, cover to cover, easily. Someone is asking, or Richard is asking, how can someone operate on a patient afar from using AI? Richard, as far back as the 1970s, doctors in developed nations were carrying out what we'd call remote surgeries through the use of a camera, a TV screen, and remotely controlled arms. That is artificial intelligence. They are not present in the theater where the person is being operated, but they were able to do that remotely, carry out complex surgeries just by the use of a camera, a TV screen on their end, and remotely operated robotic arms for them to be able to do that. Sylvia is asking me, can it identify malaria symptoms in the body? Certainly, if you ask it about malaria symptoms, it will give them to you. But remember, it is not a living thing. It won't stand next to you and be able to speak with you and tell you you have malaria just by looking at you. It will need to take certain things from you, your temperature, what you're feeling. You have to speak to it to be able to explain to it what it is that you're feeling, what it is that you're experiencing, for it to be able to respond to you. Asio Lydia says we need tools, AI tools made in Uganda. Asio, I've got good news for you. One of the institutions I'd like to send you is to Makerere, the language department. The language department in Uganda at Makerere University has been able to create artificial intelligence, voice recognition, and voice response tools so far in 12 different languages, Ugandan languages. Luganda, I believe, is one of them. Swahili, I believe, is one of them, and a few others from different areas, where you can be able to speak to the AI tool in your local language, and it's able to respond to you based on what you have asked it. So in the same way you've seen ChatGPT in the presentation, you can be able to do the same with these tools they've created and ask it a question in your language. They're working hard in the different departments in Makerere University, computer science, and the language department, the history department, to feed as much information, Ugandan history, Ugandan information, into tools, computerized tools, that you can then ask and say, okay, tell me, I read that Buganda, rather the Bunyoro kingdom used to carry out C-sections before the white man came to colonize us, and it will give you the history of Uganda doing C-sections, the type of grass they use, what they use for anesthesia, what they use to stitch and suture after the surgery. You can ask it, what was the military strategy that Buganda used to secure the Lake Victoria? And from historical information, it should be able to give you all that information. This is the power of AI. I believe we've just scratched the surface of what it can do, and it's able to give us a whole lot more than what we're able to experience. I'll wrap up by this. A lot of us have had the opportunity of using a computer. We've had the opportunity of using Excel. We've had the opportunity of using a calculator. All these are examples of artificial intelligence that has been created to simplify our lives. I no longer need to scratch my head to try and figure out what is 121 times 6.25329. All I have to do is get my calculator and enter what is 121 times 65.129, and it will give me my answer immediately. 7,880.609. This is artificial intelligence. A calculator does not have a mind like you and I, but it's able to carry out mathematical calculations. Excel is able to simplify our work in being able to plan, do calculations, do budgets, and make use of it to keep track of lists, and so much. The computer in front of me right now is fully artificial intelligence. I am able to do a lot of work with it, and it simplifies my work because it has been designed and programmed by a human being to be able to respond to prompts. I don't need to sit down and type emails anymore. All I need to do is open my Microsoft Outlook and turn on the dictate feature and tell it, write an email to Uncle Bob, and it will search for Uncle Bob's email address and tell me, here it is. I'll say, I want the subject to be presentation on Thursday, 11th at 7 p.m. and say, good afternoon, Uncle Bob. And it will type out everything as I speak it. All this is artificial intelligence. It's here to simplify work for us. It's here to quicken tasks for us. It's here to make things easier for us. If you have a microwave at home, that's artificial intelligence. Who taught a machine? You just press buttons and it goes round and round and round and heats food. It's the use of intelligence from a man to translate it into a machine to be able to work for them. The vehicle that you're traveling in or that you traveled in is artificial intelligence. Who taught it how to propel itself? All you do is step on accelerator and tires move. How did it know to do that? A man built machines, put them together, and added a bit of intelligence for it to be able to move. Uncle Bob, I think that's my presentation. Any questions that you have about artificial intelligence or anything technology, please feel free to ask, and I should be able to at least give you a response.
Thank you, Mike. You've done us so well, very practical in your presentation. And these are things we meet every other day. At least you've been able to break down some myths that we have heard and isolate them from fact. And it's been so wonderful. Thank you very much, members. Let's appreciate our presenter for the wonderful presentation. And at this very moment, allow me recognize the presence of our Lord Bishop, Bishop Magezi. Bishop Magezi, you are welcome. Thank you for being with us at such an hour. I will invite you later to chip in something. Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard it all. Please share your non-AI generated questions so that they can be answered. There are definitely some questions here. And I'll start with Grace. She has a question. Are there any disadvantages of using AI? Mike, you can take on that as I get to the other questions. I have some few also in my inbox, then I will see.
Perfect. Thank you, Uncle Bob. Are there any disadvantages in using AI? I'll go back to one of the things I put on the screen. AI is a tool. Just like a hammer has no conscience, a hammer has no emotions, a hammer has no feelings, a hammer has no mind of its own. So is AI. What we do with AI is what we shall get from AI. Are there disadvantages in using it? Yes, depending on how you use it. Can it be abused? Yes, it can be abused. In the same way that someone can misuse a hammer to injure someone else, to cause damage, to break things, is the same way AI can be used to break things, to build prompts or responses that are not wholesome, that are not healthy. Just like any tool in your hand can be useful and can be dangerous or disadvantageous, the same with any other tool that exists, which AI is. I hope that gives you clarity of response. I believe that question was asked by Grace.
By Grace, yeah. Mike, just in line with misuse and right use, there have been some cases where people are citing issues of privacy. For example, I've come across AI application where you can sit before this robot and it will tell you what you're thinking. And it will even tell you if it is a, let's say, lady is pregnant, it will tell you the lady, you got pregnant on the 5th of September at 9:30. So speaking of misuse, how can we cautiously use it without endangering our privacy?
Okay. I'd say that question is more technology related than it is AI related. Why I say more technology related is this: we are surrounded today with a lot of technology. The most powerful device you have in your possession is this thing. This device knows you more than you know yourself. It knows you more than your spouse knows you. It knows you more than your parents know you. It knows you more than you know yourself. Why is that? Because we feed this device with a lot of information. We put in all our names, we put in our date of birth, we put in when we are unhappy, we put in when we are happy, we put a lot of information on this device. We use all the technological tools, WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, TalkTik, all those things that you can possibly think about, and share all our thoughts, all our moments, all the information you could possibly put on this device. We all have email addresses. And to open up an email address, you have to fill in a plethora of information about yourself, where you live, what country you're in, your telephone number, and all this. Every single bit of information you submit to a device or to an online platform is you handing over details about yourself. The more you give this machine information about yourself, it has got inexhaustible memory. It will keep that information and learn everything and anything about you. So if you don't want your information to be misused, I call it digital sanity. There's a friend of mine who wrote a book and called it Digital Hygiene. Noah Balesamvu. Find it online. Please buy it, read it. He wrote a book called Digital Hygiene. It will teach you how not to give information about yourself and how not to expose what you don't want exposed on the digital world. In the technology space, we say something about computers. Computers never forget. Whatever it is that you ever put on a computer or a digital platform 20 years ago, computers never forget. We can find it. It's very easy to do it if you know what you are doing and how to go about looking for that information. So to answer that question, Uncle Bob, I would say you first have to be very careful about what you're putting out there. The more online accounts you have, the more information you have given. The more you do on your device that exposes you to the outside world, Instagram, all the tweets that we do, all the social media platforms that we get onto, is information you're giving out there. The companies that exist out there are in the business of data. And the more data they collect about you, the better for them. Then they are able to craft specific messages for you because of information that you submitted, that you've been using on your device, and they're able to know and say, okay, Uncle Bob posted yesterday on Twitter that he enjoyed his time at Cafe Javas. And Twitter is then able to go and hunt for Cafe Javas and find out what does Cafe Javas do, what do they offer, and say, so Uncle Bob likes Cafe Javas. The next thing you know, you open up your email and there's a Cafe Javas advert that has popped up. You're having a conversation with your wife and you use TikTok or you use Messenger. Their microphones are always on all the time. And you say how you enjoyed the chocolate cake that you ate from Sheraton Hotel and how wonderful that cake is. And no one makes cakes like Sheraton ever again. And the next thing you know, when you go to check your email, there's an advert about Sheraton or there are adverts about chocolate cake. It's simple. Be very careful what you post. Be very careful what you do with your devices. If you want to have private conversations, don't do them on the phone. Find the person if you don't want to expose that information. These devices are information collection gadgets, and they will not stop collecting information. Uncle Bob, I hope that answered your question.
Very much so. Mike, in your presentation, one thing that came out very clear is that actually, away from what we have always maybe had and thought, is that we may become zombies because of AI. But what I've gathered that if you're more intelligent than I am in a certain area, and you have uploaded your intelligence, your knowledge, I am tapping into your knowledge remotely. I'm able to get one or two things from you without physically interacting with you. Now, here comes the question. With that good feature of AI, and this has been posed by David, how do we maintain that to be more creative using AI without running the risk of making ourselves lazy, thinking that this is a hub I can go just pick and go, without killing the ability to think?
It's a common question asked, especially about AI. Here is what AI won't do for you. AI won't think for you. AI will simply put out what it has been taught. You cannot escape being a master in a subject content, thinking that AI will do it for you. You have to be good at putting together a sales strategy to be able to use AI to help you draft a sales strategy. Can you sit down and tell an AI tool, build me a sales strategy? Yes, but without parameters that confine the sales strategy to the environment you're in, it will give you a generic output that is not useful for the environment that you are in. So the existence of AI does not necessitate or does not encourage the lack of being an expert in a subject matter. I've been building networks and playing around with computers for a very, very long time. Like dated back to the 90s, early 90s, 98, 99. I've been playing around with computers. I know AI, I use AI. I use AI a lot to help me simplify my work, quicken my processes and all that. AI cannot help me think through a problem that I'm experiencing that it does not know about. AI cannot help me put together a strategy of how to deploy a network in Uganda if it does not understand the parameters by which I need to execute or to build a network in Uganda. I still need to be the expert on the subject matter to be able to put it in an artificial intelligence tool for it to give me a summarized strategy or plan of how I can go about something. So will it make us lazy? Certainly not. Can it be used to encourage laziness? Certainly yes. Will you be able to distinguish between someone who has used AI to put together a strategy and someone who has put a strategy together and used AI to make sure that it is very well illustrated and put together? Yes. Execution. AI cannot execute for you. You have to execute. So there is no escaping being a subject matter expert just because artificial intelligence is there. I'll encourage you, be an expert in whatever field you're in. Use AI as the tool that will help you become a better expert in it. I hope that gave an adequate response.
Your answer seems like a reassurance to those who have been hearing that AI is taking away jobs and they are going to become jobless. In short, AI is asking us to be better at what we do than ever before. Am I right to say so?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Thinking AI is going to take away jobs is the same as thinking Excel will make accountants redundant. It doesn't matter how good you are at Excel. If you don't know accounting, Excel won't help you. It doesn't matter how good you are at using an AI prompt. If you do not know how to put together a project plan, artificial intelligence won't help you. You can go and study medicine as much as you want, but if you don't know how to diagnose sickness face-to-face, AI will not help you. You cannot avoid being a subject matter expert just because AI exists. AI is a tool that will help you become better at what you do. In the same way that cars help us get to the destinations we want to get to faster, so will AI help you be able to carry out your tasks more efficiently and effectively.
Thank you. Members, you will allow me 10 more minutes before the end of this session because so many questions are coming in and I don't want to leave any question untouched. And I will bundle these two questions, Mike. One asks, would you recommend using AI for children's work? And maybe I want to think means homework. And then the other question is, someone is asking, is it mandatory to use AI? Must I?
Let me start with that last question. Is it mandatory to use AI? This would be the easiest way I can put it. Either learn how to use AI or AI will make use of you. Why do I say that? If you have a phone, if you own a phone, you are carrying one of the most powerful artificial intelligence mobile tools on this planet. This device is able to measure your heart rate. This device is able to know whether you're standing upright, whether you're lying down, whether you're upside down. This device is able to know how fast you're moving. This device is able to keep track of so many things about you. It's using you. It's making use of you. And you don't know that it's making use of you. So whether you want to or not, AI is in our lives. It's going to be there. The options that we have is we remain ignorant about it, or we learn about it and figure out how to make use of it. Otherwise, it will make use of us. I'll reference a question you asked earlier on, Uncle Bob, that about information that it collects and privacy and all that. As long as you don't know how to use artificial intelligence in this device, it's collecting information about you. It will use that information about you to the best of its ability of what it has been trained to do. If you know how to use it, then you can begin to take advantage of how it will use your information or what you will put in it so that you do not expose yourself that much or you control what it can expose about you or what it can learn about you. It's either we learn how to use it or it will learn how to use us. Is it useful for our children to make use of AI to do their assignments? I would say teach the child how to use the AI tools or the AI chatbots that are available to learn from them, not to cheat from them. If your child is given us an assignment and they come home and they simply feed in the assignment into the AI tool, it will give them answers. Are they learning? No. There's no difference between sitting an examination and looking over your classmates' paper as they're filling in, you're also copying and writing. At the end of your time in school, when you come out, the results will speak for themselves. So teach them how to make use of AI to help them understand the assignment they are doing. How is that? I teach my 11-year-old nephew how to make use of AI. He tells me I am learning about photosynthesis. And I say, oh, okay. Here is how you can use ChatGPT to teach you about photosynthesis. And we enter into ChatGPT. What is photosynthesis? Explain this to an 11-year-old child in the best way possible. Enter. And ChatGPT gives the simplest examples of what photosynthesis is. And he's learning so well. And he passes his exams because he has understood what the subject matter is. He's using AI to help him learn and understand things that he may have been difficult to learn within the classroom environment or by himself. So when he gets an assignment that asks him, how can you test whether a leaf is carrying out photosynthesis or not, he'll get into ChatGPT and say, how do I know that a leaf is not carrying out photosynthesis? What are the signs? ChatGPT will respond. He will read through, when the leaf turns yellow, okay, how can I make the leaf turn yellow? I've taught him to be able to ask ChatGPT questions to pique his curiosity. If that's how you use it, perfect. If you're feeding the assignment and the test into ChatGPT for it to spew answers, you're not helping your child.
Thank you, Mike. I have my 15-year-old and 10-year-old listening in. They have exactly tapped into that knowledge. I will not explain again. Have you heard, guys? Mike, a quick one. I know you mentioned something in your last answer. Someone is asking, I know AI can't directly work out or exercise for me. How can I, by any chance, incorporate AI into physical exercise, stroke physical fitness? A quick one, then I will have two last questions.
Perfect. That's a good one. So there are what we call virtual reality tools. And by virtual reality tools, they are almost like sunglasses that you wear across your face. They are designed in such a way that they will block out all the light coming from the outside, and you'll only be able to see what's inside the screen. And with these virtual reality tools, there are a myriad of exercises that have been designed and developed to help you work out as you enjoy digital and electronic connectivity. There's so many different ones. There's Ocular Rift, there is Wii, there is Nintendo. There's so many different ones. Even our phones can be able to do them with a few modified card boxes with magnifying glasses. Yes, information is there online. You can be able to build yourself a virtual reality tool that can be able to help you exercise and work out. You can enter any details you want. I am 30 years old. I've not exercised ever in my life. I want to be able to walk 10 kilometers in the next month. And it will be able to work with you through regular exercises, through your virtual reality tool to show you do this, do that, exercise this way. Press-ups in this particular way are better for you. Moving your legs in this particular way are good for you. And within a period of time, you'll be able to build an exercise regimen with the help of artificial intelligence to help you get fit. I hope that gives you a response.
Yeah, thank you, Mike. Mike, there are some sections. Earlier you said AI actually started, iPhone and all this intelligence started in the Garden of Eden. But actually some think that AI usage started in Africa, only that colonialists using missionaries when they came, they discouraged us and then stole the same technology. How? You would see an old woman, he can tell a girl from a distance who is pregnant by the way that they walk, by the way their heartbeat is, and that was intelligence basically. just chip in something on that.
I will use I will use the wisdom of my mother. My mother is in her 80s or heading towards her 80s, and all through her life, they learned how to tell things from observation. To date, I will stand with my mother and she will look up in the sky and she will turn left and turn right and tell me it's going to rain in 2 hours' time, and says, let's put everything back in the house. And I'm saying, Mom, the sun is so hot. There's not a single cloud in the sky. What do you mean it's going to rain in 2 hours' time? And almost on the dot, 2 hours, a few minutes plus or minus, it begins to rain. And I've asked her, how do you tell? Jesus tells us in the Bible, you are wise, you have learned how to read the signs and are able to tell when it's going to rain, are able to tell where the clouds are going to go. You have learned this by observation. It's how we learned it in Africa. It's how, to date, my mother will sit with you and tell you, your wife is pregnant. And you say, no, she's not. And tell you, yes, she is. And say, no, she's not. And she tell you, from the look on her face and from her neck, she's 4 months pregnant. And you ask, how do you know this? Observation. Everything around us is about signs that speak back to us. It's a matter of observation. If we take the time to observe, we will be able to know and put together signs that usually point towards something. That's what artificial intelligence does. It simply learns the patterns and the signs and uses a history of those patterns and signs to say, this is where we need to go. This is what is going to happen. This is what is actually happening in what you have given me. It's using history, patterns, and signs to be able to give the feedback.
Thank you. The second last, does AI read and understand our local native language, or no one has fed it with that yet? And then also, you also hinted on it. Can it be made to forget what we have fed it? And then I will ask it.
Okay. On the languages, I'd mentioned before that the School of Languages at Macquarie University, together with several other departments, have been able to train AI tools in our local languages. So the answer is yes, there are AI tools available that are able to read, understand our local languages. You can speak to it in our local languages. It will respond in our local languages. You can, like what we've done, type out a request and it will respond to you in your local language. You can speak to it in Lulamoji and tell it respond to me in Swahili, and it will do the same. As long as it has been trained, it will be able to speak in your language, respond to you in your language. I mean, French is a language. These tools have been trained in English. I wrote out statements in English and it responded. I could have done the same in Swahili, in Luganda, in English or Luganda or Swahili or Luganda or Runyankole or whichever language it is that you want. Can AI be made to forget the information we share? Yes and no. Yes, if I own an AI tool, if tomorrow I wake up and I've got the necessary resources and I put together my computer systems and I build my AI tool and I fill it with all this information that I get from you guys or many other people, and I decide to delete the information that I have used to teach this AI tool and delete the database of information that this AI tool has, then yes, it will forget everything. On the no side, as long as no one does that, there is no way that you who has submitted your information to an AI tool can delete it or can ask it to forget, because it is stored as digital information in its database. It won't delete it because it's information. It needs to be able to put together the history, the signs, the patterns, the symbols that it needs to be able to continue learning. So if we go back to this AI tool and I ask it and I tell it, delete every question and every history of conversation I've had with you, it will respond to me and tell me I will attempt to delete or I will try to delete, but it will remain in the database that was used to train it or the database that took the prompts that I gave it.
Thank
Back
you.
to you.
Thank you, Mike. Okay. I have the final combo question. I call it combo. Someone says, I learned that AI servers use a lot of water. Please throw more light on that. And then David says he watched a video clip where a robot escaped from a building. Won't these machines at some point be rebellious and get uncontrollable?
Let me start from the question of the robots escaping the building. So one of the very first experiences I had with artificial intelligence was a friend of mine. Well, not the very first one, but some of the early experiences of artificial intelligence I had was a friend of mine who was doing his master's program and in computer science, and put together an application, artificial intelligence, an application that was able to read video feed. So you have a camera that's recording, and the recording is being fed to this application that has been written to read what's happening on the video feed that it is receiving. And this application was able to intelligently decipher when people were running, when people were walking, when people were seated. It was taught to understand that this is a scuffle. People are fighting. People are running away from something. People are walking. People are seated. People are calm. And the application, when fed other videos, was able to tell you, this is a calm scene. No one is running, everybody's walking, or people are seated, and so on and so forth. Robots are taught with such input. They are given video feeds to understand what they need to do and how they need to respond to particular situations. So the robot must be taught how to escape from a building. It cannot do it by itself. It is not inherent knowledge it has, like we do, to know that this building is on fire, I need to get out. A robot would not know that. If it was not taught, it has to be taught how to do that. Will they eventually become rebellious? That's, from me, a yes and a no at the same time. Why no? Artificial intelligence is programs that are written by human beings, and human beings define the parameters that these programs run under. So if I build an AI tool and I tell it never to disobey anything I tell it to do, then it won't. Why? Because it will only do what I have taught it to do. If, on the other hand, I build an AI tool and I tell it, learn how to make your own decisions. You are free to think. You are free to make decisions. You are free to disagree with me. You are free to disobey me. It will do exactly what it has been told. It's a computer. Garbage in, garbage out. Good information in, good information out. Rebellious instructions in, rebellious actions out. So whatever it is you tell it, it will do. Are there people out there who will build tools, AI tools that are rebellious? Yes. Just like we learned earlier. It's a tool. So if I choose to use it in an evil way, it's not the fault of the tool. It is me who has made it do what it was never intended to be used for. If I picked a hammer and struck someone, that was not what the hammer was created for. It was created to hammer nails, not to injure people. If I use an AI tool to turn rebellious, it is me that has chosen to do that. Are computers or AI servers using a lot of water? Yes and no. Computer systems do not need to use water. They use other means, electricity, to be able to cool them, to be able to run them, and to be able to make sure that they function properly. A lot of computers generate heat when they function. If you have your laptop and you put your hand around where the fan vent is, you will feel heat coming out. That's the processor working. The easiest way to effectively and efficiently cool down computerized systems is by use of water. Why? Water is a very good conductor of heat. That is why when you put water in a pan and you put fire underneath the pan, the water gets hot. Why? It receives the heat from the fire through the metallic pan into itself. It's a very good conductor of heat. It knows how to absorb heat. And one of the challenges we have with computers is they produce a lot of heat. And it's a very effective and very cheap way for you to be able to cool computerized systems. If you have some time, we have got a very big data center in Namamve. It's called Raxio. Go and pay them a visit and tell them I am here to learn about data centers. They cool the whole environment of the data centers using water. They don't use ACs like we use that have gas and the like. They use water, a system that is referred to as adiabatic cooling. The water simply runs over like a waterfall with a fan blowing hot air, and that air comes out on the other side at 16 degrees. Very cold, very, very cold. That's water. So no, water is not used to run, it's used to cool the environment through which computers are running. I hope that gave an answer to your question, Jacqueline.
Thank you very much, Mike. Like I promised members that we have got a surgeon to make an operation on the topic. I think you have done justice to the topic. Thank you very much, Mike. And for that matter, members, allow me invite Mrs. Jacqueline Murindwa to give a vote of thanks. And thereafter, I request Bishop Magezi to give us a blessing.
Good evening, online Church of Uganda family. Praise the Lord. I take this honor of thanking our guest tonight, Mr. Mike Barnard Kwatampora. Thank you so much for this rich knowledge that is necessary. I know many of us are still resisting. Many of us are asking so many questions. But I learned from Mr. Collins Bavirukam some time back. Shortly after COVID, he was teaching on this very online ministry, and he was teaching about technology. And I remember him saying that technology is no longer an if, but when and how. Technology is no longer an if, but when and how. Technology is a lifestyle. So AI is part of us. We either acknowledge that it's part of us, get out of our denial, and learn how to use it and simplify our lives, or we choose to have our car parked in the compound and we walk on foot. Instead of taking 10 minutes to get to work, it takes us an hour. So the ball is in our court. Thank you so much for explaining it to us so clearly and so audibly. May God bless you, and may God continue using you. We can't wait to learn from you again. Thank you so much. Over to you, Uncle Bob.